But the big news point that we have to talk about is we got a trailer for Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And it's pretty much the biggest glimpse we've gotten at the game.
Absolutely, yeah. We didn't have much in the way of gameplay.
No, we basically just knew of the existence of development and the starters, really.
Yep.
You know, remember way back when we got that cinematic of the painting getting uncovered. I mean, I don't even think we had 3D renders of these yet.
Correct.
So this is a pretty big update to see anything in motion. So as far as impressions go, Tyler, how are you feeling just based off of this trailer we've gotten going into this next generation? I'm curious.
So I feel like I have a lot of good things like to say about this. First of all, you pointed out that it looks like you're going to be able to go out into the field with each other. Like you and me can go out on a mission in the field together and go catch Pokemon together, and that is amazing. Period. Point blank. I mean,
best thing they can add.
I don't want to understate it. Like right off the bat, this is something that I'm extremely excited for.
This is a key feature. I mean,
we've gotten a little bit of it with like the Dynamax raids and stuff and Sword and Shield. That was probably the closest that we've got to something like this because
a taste. Yeah.
It was a taste of this, but this is going to be the whole shebang. I want to see how far they go with it. Are we going to be able to queue into a double battle together? Are we going to be able to, catch like the same Pokemon at the same time? I just want to see kind of what happens with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see, when we had the wild area on Sword and Shield,
mm-hmm.
that kind of teased this. It was because we get the sense we're playing with people, but it's just kind of like existing in the same area.
Yep.
So this is the full-blown, listen, we're going to do this.
And I feel like the format of the actual expeditions is similar to the expeditions in Arceus, where you're in your base town, you go to the gate to go out of the town, and that's where the connection is actually going to take place. That's my prediction.
See, I'm with that. I think the space in between towns only makes sense to have that feature accessible on any route, really.
But it's going to be less routes and more like Legends Arceus.
Yeah. Areas. And
wide open areas, yeah.
Yeah,
that's the sense that I got. They're going to take kind of the best of both worlds and jam them together, which I love.
Yeah, I don't ever see them deviating from a standard map, but we'll see how far they open it up. I feel like with the main series Pokemon games, I expect there to be a clear cut.
I hope not.
Overworld
because I'm
map.
a big
I
fan.
hope not too.
I'm a big fan of the OG format of the first, call it, really just the first 6, 7, really the first 6 generations all had the same basic formula of 8 badges, Elite 4, post game, right? Like,
yeah.
And then you got into Gen 7, the island sort of layout. It kind of still was that in disguise, but it definitely felt very different. And then you get back to badges with Gen 8, and then Legend Arceus is like completely different. So
yeah,
I don't know. I think they kind of like radically brought it. They brought all the experimental stuff into Arceus at once, and they're going to meter that out into this game and deploy bits and pieces of what worked the best in Arceus into the main. And I've heard a lot of people say Arceus is a main series game in the literal sense of like what you would consider the canon continuity of the main series of games. To me, it's kind of like halfway between a main series and a spinoff, but either way, the point I'm trying to make is I think we're going to see a lot of that functionality from Arceus in this game.
It's funny that you say that because I really thought I'm approaching this with the idea of it being kind of like Sword and Shield with everything they've taken from Arceus. So I think it's going to be a marriage of the two.
I think you're right. I think, there's going to be a lot of Sword and Shield elements. I mean, that's going to make up the difference, right? It's still going to run in that same kind of vein. But I think it's going to split the difference between the two.
But we don't get sick of the formula. That's the thing about it. Like you said, the first 6th gen, or however you want to put it, formula doesn't bother us.
It doesn't bother us, but at the same time, you're not mad to see them update the formula through time to keep the experience fresh. At least I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad about it either. If they open it up like Arceus, I won't even be upset.
I personally, my first time through Gen 7 was a little bit jarring. But, as I've talked about on here recently, I recently have been playing the Ultra Sun for the first time, which is really my second time through Gen 7. Mm-hmm. And on this second run through, whether it be because Ultra is a little slightly tuned up or whether it be because it's my second run through or both, the concept feels a lot more graspable to me than it did the first time through. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think that if the game was just Gen 1 reskinned 9 times, it's not going to work, right? You have to keep pushing new mechanics, adding new stuff, because the core audience is mostly staying the same age, right? Or at least some parts of it. So you have to add that complexity for people like you and me to continue to learn new things in the game.
Yeah, but you never know how they're segmenting this. I mean, they could have said, "Oh, Arceus is going to be our adult game. That's going to be for the big kids." Yeah, I mean, you never know how they're marketing it, so you don't know how they're approaching Scarlet and Violet. But I would imagine they're trying to appeal to everybody on this, because this is obviously the next big installment. This is their next Sword and Shield, But I'll tell you what, man, I just feel like my expectations aren't going to go crazy, just because, I mean, I expect the game to be really good, but Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl put me in a place where I feel like I would be comfortable with a standard remake of even older games. Like, dude, I'm just so comfortable with that. So to be honest with you, if they bring revolutionary new shit to the table that works, cool. But if they don't, they've already got a formula that's timeless. I mean,
I agree. But I think we will see a lot of new things in this game.
Yeah.
I think they learned a lot of lessons from Sword and Shield. A lot of what people didn't like, honestly, right? Like, not saying you and me.
Yeah, but and they also implemented a lot of things in Arceus that went over very well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why you might see just a little bit of, you got your Arceus and my Sword and Shield, little bit of mix them together.
Yeah, but because I'll admit, dude, the catching mechanic in Arceus is the best to date.
It feels incredible.
It's the childhood dream catching mechanic.
It feels incredible. I'm not going to fight you on that.
But then again, we're so comfortable with literally hitting item, Pokeball, throw.
And you know what's so funny? The dead center of that is Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, right? You're throwing the ball with the motion, but it's still a turn-based situation.
Very true.
And we were happy with that.
Yeah, we were. We were happy with that for a game. That's not something we want to stick around.
I enjoyed the heck out of the Let's Go games.
Yeah. And here I am. Everything comes full circle. I'm throwing a different type of ball with my Joy-Con.
But definitely big fan of what we saw in the trailer. A lot of cool looking new Pokemon. The new starters, I think, look awesome. We haven't really talked about. I mean, we talked about them a little bit, but I think they're going to be awesome. All
of them are awesome. The little red dragon is my boy.
No
That's
question.
my go-to.
Yeah,
so.
Fuecoco. I'm a fire starter boy. Fuecoco, he's like the little fire dragon, kind of dragony, almost looks like a dinosaur kind of guy. And then
love him. I love him.
Sprigatito is the grass cat.
Gotta love a grass cat.
And then there's Quaxley, who's the water starter, and he's just a
The
little
Elvis duck, yeah.
duck with a pompadour. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yep.
So really excited. Like,
people are always really critical of the new lineup of starters. I don't see how you could be critical of this lineup.
not
Gotta
at all.
love it.
It's a strong group, and I think the flavor, like the Spanish and Portuguese flavor that comes through in this game is going to be very strong, and it's going to be very satisfying.
Absolutely. I was loving the Alolan scenery. This is
Totally.
going to be that amped up intensely.
I love like Spanish culture and architecture and just like that like sort of Western European vibe. Like Pokemon X and Y had it. Set
X
in,
and
like,
Y. I was just about to say that, man. Yeah, they really
Yep.
captured that.
this is going to be very
grand.
very on the same vibe as that. I think as far as the
Definitely.
culture.
I think just the fact that they're going to be representing it in a higher graphical quality is going to make it hit harder.
Definitely. So
But think back to X and Y, man. Like I said, everything felt so grand, even though it was still in kind of a chibi style. Everything felt really, like the gargantuan structures and environment.
yep. And the more they do these region specific continents and stuff, the more like direct references the Pokemon and some of the region specific forms seem to make to real life culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you saw a lot of stuff in Sword and Shield that was really directly referential to like the UK and UK culture.
Definitely.
And same thing in Alola, same thing in Gen 6. And I mean, we already saw Lurantis wearing gaucho pants. So I think we're going to see quite a bit of that in this gen, and I'm excited for it.
I'm open to the regional variants. I think that's
I love
cool. Ever since the Alolan and all that, I was totally on board.
Yep. And I think they do a great job with most of the variants. And I like that there's some where it's a drastic difference and there's some where it's a more subtle difference. I think the fact that they run the spectrum with that makes a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely, man.